Welcome guys to the H2O channel. You are welcome to my YouTube channel, and today we are doing mathematics, and the questions we are going to be solving are the Jamb mock mathematics question 2024. I'm referring to the questions that you saw in your exam, such as the one you are seeing the board. We are going to be doing some of the questions that we can take today. Then in our subsequent videos next week, we are going to send the other questions. Please, you have to stay to the end of this video so that you will not have a cause to regret. Okay, now let us solve this question on the board. The first question on the board is a topic called inequality. Inequality. As you can see the inequality sign on the board. Let us quickly Google-dice this question. We have 3x minus 1 over 4 all in brackets raised to power 1 over 2 greater than 1 over 4 minus x over 1. Wow, so interesting. Please, the first thing we are going to do is how to eliminate this minus and the power of 1 over 4. Now, let's go back to the knowledge of indices. Remember, if I have a over b raised to the power of minus x, to remove this minus from this is to make the denominator to become the numerator and make the numerator to become the denominator. Then the negative sign will disappear. It's as easy as that. Very easy. If I have 1 over 3 raised to the power of minus 1 over 3, the negative sign is going to disappear when the 3 goes up and the 1 comes down, and then you have 1 over 3. That's all. So let's do it here. Here we have 3x minus, remember, for this negative sign to go away, you take the 4 up and bring the 1 down. Bringing the 1 down is meaningless, so just let it go, so that you have raised to the power of 1 over 2 greater than 1 over 4 minus x over 1. You are just putting the 1 here to balance it, okay? Now again, remember that if I have a number like 9 raised to the power of 1 over 2, it will give me the square root of 9, and that will give us 3. If you have 25 raised to the power 1 over 2, it will give us the square root of 25, and that will give us 5. That's the law of indices. So let's do it here. It means that 3x minus 4 raised to the power 1 over 2 will give us the square root of 4. So we have 3x minus the square root of 4 greater than 1 over 4 minus x over 1. So that you have 3x minus square root of 4 is what? 2 greater than 1 over 4 minus x over 1. Okay, now to balance all of this, you can just simply do this by taking the LCM of 4 and 1. You can take the sum of 4 and 1. Let's quickly take the sum of this. Okay, now you have that 3x minus 2 greater than the LCM of 4 and 1 will give us 4, and then 4 divided by 4 is 1 times 1 1. 4 divided by 1 is 4 times minus x minus 4x. So while this is over 1, this is over 4. Now let's quickly cross multiply. Cross multiply. If you cross multiply, 4 will multiply this 1 multiply, so you have 4 bracket 3x minus 2 greater than. If 1 multiply, you still have the same thing, so there's no need writing the 1. So this times this will give us 12x. This time will give us minus 8 greater than 1 minus 4x. So what do? Collect like terms together. So here is 12x. Remember, if minus 12x crosses this sign, to turn to plus 4x greater than 1. If this crosses, you have plus 8. So 12x plus 4x is going to give us what? 16x. Okay, and is greater than what? 9. So what do we simply do? We are going to divide both sides by what? By 16. And if this cancel this, you have x greater than 9 over 16. Wow, it's so unfortunate that the examiner did not supply the right options. So the answer, the options given in this question are totally wrong. And when you encounter such in your exam, you just have to let it go. Let's focus on the second question. find the maximum value of the function. Y is a function of x. Please take note of that. If you are told to find the maximum value of x, it differs entirely for finding the maximum value of the function. To find the maximum value of the function is to find the value of y. And how do we go about it? So easy. The first step is that you have to differentiate the equation. And if you are differentiating the equation, remember you have y here and you have x. So we can call the differential value dy over dx. Please take your pen and take note of that. If you have v equals to 3t cubed minus plus 40 squared minus 8, it means the differential value of v and t will be called the v over dt. So it will not be wrong for us. So this is dy over dx. So what would dy over dx give us on this question? Now it will give us, remember that 10 is a constant, it does not contain x, and the derivative of a constant is equals to what? 0. Okay, so if you differentiate this 10, it will give you 0. So you write 0 plus differentiate your 4x, it will give you what? 4. Now if you differentiate this, you have minus. Remember, in differentiation you use the power of the x to multiply the number. So if you use 2 to times x, you are going to get 2x. And then when you are done, remove 1 from the power. If you remove 1 from 2, you have just 2x. So our differential value is 4 minus 2x. Wonderful. But does that give us the answer? No. You were told to find the maximum value of the function. And I want you to note this. Please note this down. Note this. At maximum or minimum point, your dy over dx is always equals to 0. At the maximum or minimum point, your dy over dx is 0. So what does that mean? It means that the answer we have gotten here, we are going to equate it to what? 0. So that 4 minus 2x will be equals to what? 0. And then you have 4 equals to, take minus 2, you have 2x. And then you can divide both sides by 2. So that this what is x will give us what? 2. Is 2 the answer? No. We were told to find the maximum value of the function. So if you have gotten your x as 2, you are going to substitute your x into the original equation. Remember, the function is y. So you have y equals to 10 plus 4x minus x squared. So what do we simply do? Wherever we see x here, we put 2. So you have 10 plus 4 brackets 2 minus 2 squared. So what would that give us? 10 plus 8 minus 2 squared will give us 4. That's so interesting. So our y will give us 10 plus 8 is going to give us what? 18. And 18 minus 4 is going to give us what? 14. So the maximum value of the function is 14. So is the answer A? No. Is the answer B? Yes. Okay, the answer is not C, the answer is not D, but the answer is what? B. Let's take other questions, class. Sure. Question number 3. Please take a look at this question. If you see these two straight lines that covers the numbers in rows and columns, you should know that this topic is under your matrix and determinant. And to be precise, this particular question is determinant of a matrix. Remember, if I have a matrix like this, A, B, C, D, if this is a matrix, then whenever you have something like this, they are referring to the determinant of a matrix. So it's only determinant that has these two straight lines that covers the number in rows and columns. Again, in a matrix, the diagonal that begins from the most left to the right bottom is called the principal diagonal. Principal diagonal. Get your pen and note this down. This is the top left and this is the right bottom. So from the top left to the right bottom is the principal diagonal. Then from the top right to the left bottom is the ordinary diagonal. This is your ordinary diagonal. Please take note of this. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, how do we solve the determinant of a matrix? It is very cheap, very cheap. To solve the determinant of a matrix, all you need to do is to identify your principal diagonal and your ordinary diagonal. Like as I've told you, from the top left to the right bottom is your principal diagonal. Then from your right top to the left bottom is your ordinary diagonal. So how do I get determinant? Very easy. Determinant of a matrix is equals to the product of the principal diagonal minus the product of the ordinary diagonal. Remember that product means times. If this is our principal diagonal, I'm going to multiply this by this. A times D will give me AD minus B times C will give us BC. By the time you subtract these two values, you have gotten your determinant of the matrix. So you see that it's very cheap. What you have been running from before is quite very cheap and is currently at your doorstep. And that's the reason why you have to stay with us on this channel, because we have a lot to review to you. Now let us solve this very simple question that came out in your Jamb 2024. What do we simply do? I've told you that from your top left to the right bottom is your principal diagonal. So we are going to multiply this to 3 times x minus 2 minus, we multiply this 2 as well, which is 2 times x. And they said that the determinant is equals to minus 2, and that we should find the value of word x. Wow, very easy. You open this bracket, you have 3x minus 6 minus 2x is equals to minus 2. What do we do? Collect your like terms together. This will give us 3x minus 2x is equals to minus 2 plus what? 6. Remember, if minus 2 crosses, you have pluses. 3x minus 2x will give us x, and that will give us minus 2 plus 6, and that will give us 4. Determinant of a matrix is quite very cheap. As you can see on the board, the answer is not A, is not B, the answer is word C. Okay, now let's take question number 4. The inverse of this particular matrix is what? How do we find the inverse of a matrix? If you have not come across it before, in this particular video, you are going to see how the inverse of a matrix can be gogodized. Now, follow me carefully. What are the necessary steps you have to take to solve the inverse of a matrix? Let's do it carefully, please. Step 1. Step 1 is to get the determinant of the matrix. Okay, we can say get the determinant of the matrix. How do we get the determinant? Very easy. Remember, product diagonal minus ordinary diagonal. So we are going to get 2 times 1 minus 1 times 1. And that will give us 2 minus 1 to give us 1. So the determinant of this matrix is 1. Remember, you are looking forward the inverse of the matrix. What is the next step? Step 2, we amaze you. Though it is a trick and it's a shortcut on solving the inverse of a matrix. Remember, this number here is our principal diagonal. What do you do when you are looking for the inverse of a matrix? Simply do this for me. Take 1 here, bring this here. So you are going to get 1 here and 2 here. Wow. Then change the sign of the ordinary diagonal. If they are positive, change it to negative. If it's a negative, change it to what? Positive. As you can see, this is 1, 1. You change it to minus 1, minus 1. Wow. You have gotten a what? A new matrix. It's just a trick, okay? Remember, you are preparing for Jamb. You must learn all of this trick so that you don't waste time in solving a particular problem. What is step 3? Very easy. Step 3 says that you should use the inverse of your determinant to multiply the new matrix. That is to say, 1 over your determinant multiplied by the new matrix. Don't forget, very easy. So we are going to get, from this formula, we have 1 over 1 is going to multiply 1 minus 1 minus 1, 2. Okay? By the time you use 1 over 1 to multiply, you still have the same thing. 1 minus 1 minus 1, 2. Wow. What is the answer to this question? Is the answer C? From what I can see, it is no, no, no. The answer is what? B. 1, 2 minus 1, 1. Okay? Now let's take other questions. This is question number 5. As you can see, differentiate open bracket 1 plus 2x squared raised to the power of 4. They gave us our various words, options. Very easy. Which principle are we going to use to differentiate this? Listen, please. The principle that is used in differentiating this problem is called the function of a function rule. Function of a function rule. Okay, because expanding this bracket will be so stressful, most especially if you have raised to the power of 8, and you cannot do that in your exam. So that is why you have to deploy the function of a function rule in solving this mathematics word problem. It is also called the chain rule. And what is the formula for the chain rule? Please take note of this. Your dy over dx is equals to dy over du times du over dx. Don't forget, if you are a student preparing for Jamb, this is the best channel you can ever be, because I want to show you how you can use the Dagbo tricks to solve this question without having to apply this formula. If you have a good mathematics textbook, you'll see that solving this particular problem will require you to introduce another variable which we call the u, so you can get your du over dx. But you don't have to do that. All you have to do is just to follow the tricks I want to give you now in solving this particular problem. So if I have that y is equals to 1 plus 2x squared raised to the power of what? 4. What is the tricks? You differentiate the inside first. Remember, if you differentiate 1, you have 0. So you are left with 2x squared. Differentiate 2x squared, you are going to get 4x. Remember, if I have 2x squared, you use this 2 to multiply this 2, and that will give you 4x, because you are going to remove 1 from the power after using the power to multiply the number. So you have 4x. So if I differentiate this, I'm going to get 4x. After getting your 4x, you multiply by the power, you are going to get what? 16x. So we are getting the y over dx will give us 16x. I repeat myself again. Differentiate this, you have 4x. Multiply by 4, you have 16x. Then bring back the bracket, which is 1 plus 2x raised to the power of 2. What do you do next? It will shock you. Reduce the power of 4 by 1, and that will give us 3. This is the answer to the differential value. Let's check the options and see if we are correct. I guess there's a mistake that the power here is what? 3. So the answer is not A. The answer is what? B, which is 16x, open bracket 1 plus 2x squared raised to the power of what? 3. The answer is not C, is not D. It lies between these two. But the difference is that this one is the power of 4 and this is the power of 3. And that is the answer to the question. Let's quickly take number 6 question. Remember that this particular question is gotten from coordinate geometry. Coordinate geometry. Okay, now there's a formula that is used to calculate for the distance between 2 points. The distance between 2 points is the square root of y2 minus y1 all squared plus x2 minus x1 all squared. This is the formula used to calculate for the distance between 2 points. Let's go over the question. What is the value of arrow if the distance between the points is what? 3. So this is the distance, which is what? 3. This is the point 4, 2 and 1, r. Please take note of this. This is our x1, this is our y1, this is x2, and this is what? y2. And your distance according to the question is 3 units. Wow, so interesting. If you have gotten this, just put your values to the formula. You have 3 is equals to the square root of y2. What's your y2? R minus y1, which is what? 2, all squared, plus what's your x2? 1 minus x1, 4, all squared. And what would that give us? That will give us 3 equals to the square root of r minus 2 all squared plus open bracket minus 3 what? Squared. Wow, so interesting. Let's create a space for this question to solve it here. So what we have here is what? 3 equals to, here you have the square root of r minus 2 all square plus the square of minus 3 square will give us 9. So what do we do now? I think we have to square both sides. Square both sides. When you square both sides, what are you going to get? You have to square both sides because the square root here. So this will give us 3 squared equals to, when you square this, the square, we cancel the square root. So you are left with r minus 2 all square plus what? 9. Wow. Remember, this 3 square will give you 9 equals to r minus 2 all square plus what? 9. You take this 9 to this place, so you have 9 minus 9 equals to r minus 2 all square. So what will this give us? This will give us 0 is r minus 2 all square. Then remember, you have to square root both sides. You have square root of 0 is r minus 2 all square. What do you do? Square root this side too. Square here, square. So this cancel this. You're left with 0 equals to r minus 2. Minus 2 crosses here, you have 2 equal r. Therefore, r equal 2. Wow, so interesting. You can play this video over and over again so that you get used to it, and so you'll be able to solve subsequent questions from the distance between 2 or more points. If you check the option very well, you find that the answer is not A, the answer is not B, the answer is what? Oh, sorry, the answer is B, not C, not D. Our arrow is equals to what? 2. Thank you very much for staying to the end of this video. If today is your first time for coming across this video, because you are likely to see these questions in your Jamb exam 2024, please do not forget to subscribe to our channel and also help us to like so that the video can be recommended for other students. If you have any other person preparing for Jamb, please share the videos with them. Thank you very much. I'll see you in my next video.